you have to know what your deal breakers are. So every man has things that him just don't love that are deal breakers. Nobody knows them but you. So as a man, you need to identify your deal breakers. And once you see them, don't try to sweep it under the rug. Don't try to break the deal.
Well, lion voice, tell them that's the people first choice. Lion voice, make the lioness them feel nice. Lion voice, with the lion cubs we sacrifice. Lion voice, got to show the people them the life. Lion voice.
Greetings in that divine name of His Imperial Majesty, Emperor Haile Selassie I, King Rastafari. Glory and honor in the name of Her Imperial Majesty, the chosen Queen, Empress Waziri Menen. My name is Dejazmatch Kwasi. I'm an entertainment attorney, I'm an author, I'm an artist, and I am an actionist. And I am also the host of The Lion's Voice. So on this episode of The Lion's Voice, we're going to talk about relationship topic. We're going to talk about vetting. Part of the whole relationship, we talked about dating versus courtship. We talked about purpose over that something there, the D discipline. We want to talk about another important topic, which is vetting. And we're going to talk about it from the brethren perspective, as usual. This is very instructive for sistren because it's good to know the brethren side. I talk about the brethren side because, of course, I'm a brethren. And, I was a young man. I'm a married man now. So I can talk about the things that I know about with more confidence. So I'll give it from the brethren perspective. So the vetting process. You're a young man. You're finishing university or your trade school, you're entering the work world now, you're getting ready to establish the foundations of your kingdom. How do you determine who your queen is going to be? Well, first, if you watch all of the videos, we say purpose. We say the Almighty. We say the Almighty comes first, purpose comes second, and then the queen comes third. You will need a queen to build your kingdom. I want to just read a quote from His Imperial Majesty, Emperor Haile Selassie I. He says, "To sustain us in all our tasks, we count on the women of Africa. Without their relentless vigilance, no aspects of our responsibilities can be attained." So what does that mean? That means that once you determine your purpose, once you have a direction, once you can provide that leadership which is essential for a king, then you need a queen to help you to fulfill that task because you cannot do it by yourself. Success is a team sport. Building your team, number one, you see on the chessboard, you see the king. He makes one move at a time. The queen, she can move up and down, she can move around. So always have your queen with you when you're building your chess. But that decision as to who is going to be your queen is one of the most important decisions you will make as a young man in life. And so it's not to be taken lightly. This is why we talk about the vetting process. So number one in terms of vetting is, you only are going to allow women in your space that are complementary to your purpose. So that means talk to everyone, interact with everyone, network with everyone. But in terms of furthering it, phone conversations, texting, anything that goes beyond pleasantries should only be with women who are complementary to your purpose. This is important when you are looking for that queen because proximity is a big factor in who we end up with. So the people you're around, things happen. Nature takes its course. Our biology is incredibly powerful. So you're around people, you want to make sure from the jump that you're around sistren that align or are complementary with your purpose. And only share intimate space, meaning one-on-one time with people who are directly complementary to your purpose. So you don't want to get in any situation. This will help in terms of mindset alignment. You want to watch and observe. So you got to think with your head up here and not the head below. This is very critical. Do what you have to do as a man when you're interacting with this woman, so you can clear your mind and make sure that you think with a clear head so you can observe very keenly. I like to call it the mental health check. We all have to take care of our own mental health, but we also have a responsibility to try to screen for people who have mental health issues. If there are red flags there, then you want to, as part of your stewardship as a brethren, suggest that they get help. Counseling is important. We're not trained as counselors, so we can't sit down with someone, have them pour out and put them in a constructive direction. And we shouldn't be considered. We can listen, yes, but we should always advise people who we identify with those red flags, look at them as people who are carrying trauma, as we seek to rebuild our community, and try to direct them toward resources, and then take away yourself, because at the end of the day, you cannot help them, and you do not want to, for lack of a better word, become entangled with someone who has mental health trauma, because hurt people, and that's how it goes. So mental health check, that means if the person is overly clingy, abandonment issues, oversharing, over sexualization, meaning is just, something is off there. There's no connection, it's just a physical, and they want to jump into that physical so quickly. It might be tantalizing at first, but usually there's a deeper issue, because if she's a wife, she's going to also be vetting you as well, and she's going to have some standards in terms of the requirements she has for access to her goodie. So when she does very quick and impulse control, there's a lack of impulse control, a lot of cursing, foul mouth, anything that comes to her mind, she says it. These are all red flags for a king, because you're going to need a wife who can exercise discretion, who can read a room, who, when the two of you go into a space, she's working for the kingdom ultimately, and for the purpose and the mission. So that is very important in terms of the vetting process. Also, you have to know what your deal breakers are. So every man has things that him just don't love, that are deal breakers. Nobody knows them but you. So as a man, you need to identify your deal breakers, and once you see them, don't try to sweep it under the rug. Don't try to break the deal. That doesn't mean you don't continue to work with them on your purpose, and this is why it's so important not to just sleep with everybody, dogo with everybody who comes into your sphere that is complementary to your purpose, because the time that you give to vet, you might find out, okay, they have a deal breaker, they have a red flag, but they're good in terms of that complementary skill that they have toward your purpose. So you can continue to work with them and maybe even provide them some strength along their journey. So now you take yourself out. And when I say take away yourself, that don't mean abandon people necessarily, unless they're extremely toxic. It means take away yourself in terms of out of the dating courtship realm. And I would say courtship, because we don't really support the dating in this ecosystem. This is not an ecosystem for dating. This is a courtship realm, because we are rebuilding the black nation. So once you see these things, you can work with them because they've already shown that they have aligned with their purpose, but you're taking yourself out of that Ethiopian-tic or Afromantic sphere of engagement. So it's important. Deal breaker could be this person likes to drink a lot, and you're not really into drinking, but you notice that them like get drunk, they don't handle their liquor. That was always a deal breaker for I as a young man. I couldn't deal with drunk women at all. So whatever your deal breaker is, know that if this person has this trait, don't come into the engagement trying to change someone. Look at them for who they are and see if they work, because worst case scenario, the person doesn't change, you're with them. If you're with them with the expectation that they're going to be someone else, you're just going to create anxiety, stress, frustration for yourself and hurt expectation. So this is very important that you give yourself some time to observe the person. How do they work with you? How do they help you to fulfill your purpose? I tell a lot of artists that a lot of artists sex off all of their support team, their fan club, all of that, all of these people who come to them because of their light, their shining, which if you're an artist, your purpose is that music or being that creative. So a lot of the people who are attracted, you go sex them off and you don't get the benefit. So you're there as a struggling artist. Yes, you've had a lot of stories and escapades, but you have not achieved your purpose to the fullest extent. So do not sleep with the people who are attracted to the light. That light is not, those people are, you are a custodian of the Most High for these people who come around this light. The Most High allows you to take a wife from this number, but don't abuse the blessing. Meaning, when the people come with this attracted to the light of you in your purpose, in your masculinity, in your kingdom, do not just try sex off the girls, then the women, because girls, we don't, in slang we say girls, but we mean women, adult women. Do not do that, please, because why? We need to rebuild the nation. We don't want to add any more trauma onto our sister. We don't want to add any more trauma onto our brethren. So we need to engage with people who we have the highest chance of a long-term relation. This is not quantity. This is a quality trad. Not the quantity. This is a quality trad. So these are just some things to look about in terms of vetting. Is this person trustworthy? Do they keep their word? Word sound is power. So watch their word, that the word and the actions match. This goes for men and women. Are they accountable? If they're not going to do something, do they apologize if they are wrong? Are they willing to grow? Are they willing to come under the jurisdiction of your kingdom if you're a brethren? Is the sister willing to submit her path or what she has going on to be a helpmate in your kingdom? And when we use the term submission, that really is the ultimate in terms of submission. When somebody gives their life toward the fulfillment of your goals, this is a special role that a wife plays, and it's unique to that relationship. Again, I'm not talking about the partnership. The partnership, you both might have two distinct separate purposes and you do it by yourself, but you come together and you pay the bills together. We're not talking about that. We're talking about a kingdom that is focused. I want to build that part of the black nation. I am building my kingdom, and I'm sharing with my tribe that we're building here in the Dejazmatch Kwasi ecosystem through the Lion Voice, through our social media, through our website, through all of the different works we're doing. So that is what we're concerned with, is building this kingdom. So these are just a few points for the vetting. On Patreon, we're going to go more in depth on vetting. I have a video about navigating sex as young brethren in this time. You know, what are the parameters? We're going in depth in terms of purpose over that something there, and the D discipline, how to apply these in real life. That's going to be on Patreon. We're going to be uploading that shortly. But this is just vetting we're going to go into, because we have to create the culture, and our elders, our generation included, my generation included, we haven't done a good job of passing this knowledge down to the younger brethren and sistren, and so chaos is reigning. The broken families continue. We're repeating cycles, generational cycles, and those of us, I come from a 2-parent home. I've been with my wife now going on 15 years. We want to create, we have to become vocal now. We have to do what we can to share, and we won't always be able to sit on a corner. But regardless if we can't sit on the corner, the time has come for the lions to tell their own story. And this is the lion's voice.
I go far without no warning. Black woman, I said I wanna be your lover, and I don't want any other. You alone, I could be my children's mother.